Hi. Yes, I know. Sound is on. Duchess. I know, you don't know who that is. You're fine, you'll survive. You'll survive. No. I said, Daddy will come. Be quiet. I know, I'm your friend. I know. How did Mandy?
Went very well. Yeah. She, this was mothering her, like actually parenting her. Better than she ever did when she came home the first time. I'm not even kidding. That's so fun. Like totally convenient. She like gave her a little push, snaps her on the neck a little bit, you know, was like, don't you? You're not having power over me now. Because Mandy at home, when she was pregnant, would take advantage of the fact she couldn't move quick. So, but no, she was really good. And then I had to play for lunch. And then I brought her Abby through the dog door. Because Mandy's not going to do a dog door. So she crawled through here, and they came through, and she didn't care that Mandy was puppies and all. And I think Mandy was so much like, I don't want to do Mama's not. No, I don't want to. But she didn't even look at the puppies for like a half an hour. She was totally like, oh, why are you being so mean? It's like she always good, huh? Oh, that's awesome. So that was good. Very good, yeah.
All right, so I have a laptop for the sound. Sound is on. And that's a permanent fixture in here.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So that's there now, so you can turn on.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm going to leave you, when you're done, this...
So is the sound going through there, so I don't need to talk loud?
Nope.
Oh, it's over there.
It's still there. That's the microphone
Okay.
with the little light on it. This just controls it. And then you're just going to use the slide bar over here. Make sure that all the lights turn off and the sound will be off.
When it's on.
My mother's going to speak to you in a minute. She will, I promise.
Oh, hey, honey.
It's okay.
It's okay. I was wondering, because I don't have my phone to answer any questions if people want
It's
to.
fine. Lie down and rest. Lie down and rest for a few minutes.
I can get this up.
It's on my Sarah's here too. Yeah, she can look.
It's okay. I
She
know.
hasn't seen Daddy in a little while
I know, Daddy just walked out on you. Poor baby girl.
too. Jay's a big like random reinforcement type person. We were both behaviorists when we were like in college, and so he's like, listen, it's random reinforcement. You're gonna get what you get. You're never gonna know what you get. So.
Interesting that they really didn't go nuts
Yeah.
with the barking.
Yeah. There's so many different dogs in there at night too. That some of them.
But they don't bark that much at night, they do.
Some like Chloe will bark.
A little bit, yeah.
Even Capri, even sometimes if she can hear the dog use that at night, she'll go to that door.
But they don't know your hubby, so he's a different Duchess. Doesn't like people she doesn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't blame her. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows? He could be here to take her or something.
yeah, yeah.
It's okay.
There you go.
Mother's coming to speak to you in 1 minute.
All right.
She's coming. Will you speak to
Yes,
her,
I will.
please?
Yes, I will. Hello.
Let me sneak over there. Capri, come here. Capri, come here. Come on, come up here.
Rest. I'll rub your belly. Can we rub your belly? What do you look for? Oh, jeez. Oh, did she get you? No. All right, guys, I know the camera's not on me, but I'm just wondering if you can hear me. This is Sharon. If someone could just let me know you can hear me and what I'm saying, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll just wait.
Is that your dad? Yeah, he's
Now you just stay right there.
Imagine.
Yeah.
He's gonna be back.
Mhm.
He will. He's right up there. He is. He came to see you. He did. He really did. It was a surprise.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
said, we gotta stop by SDP.
Hmm?
I said, we gotta stop by SDP. Like, okay.
Yes, that's good. Lie down, rest. Rest. Your daughter was ready at night. Before I
Yeah.
went to bed, I looked in to see what the pups are doing. And I saw
saw her.
Mandy. And I said,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, Mandy. It's okay.
Yeah, she was
good.
They did really well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
She was looking at the pups. But
She
didn't do-
was.
you know.
It took her like about a half an hour to 45 minutes. I had Mandy here the other night just because I have the sound on now. So I brought Mandy over and I took her outside first because she hasn't seen Capri in 2 months.
Right.
And she started getting very emotional at home. She's not eating
Yeah.
as much. And so I think at this point she's kind of like, is this the way it's going to be?
Just me.
Yeah. She definitely wants a playmate
Yeah.
and all of that. So
I'm sure Capri was.
yeah, so we went out back, and before we came, Capri was so pregnant that she couldn't really play as
Right.
much or defend herself. So Mandy had the upper hand. She could play rough with her. She could go on her hind legs,
Yeah.
and Mandy couldn't. She had.
Capri couldn't.
She
fight.
couldn't.
Yeah,
she couldn't, right?
Yeah.
So she kind of just let her do what she
Yeah.
was going to do. But this time they met at the gate, and Mama was like, "Come on in, little girl."
Really?
But yeah.
Yeah, it was cute to see them.
It was cute. So
I think people didn't know. At first they were thinking it was Capri, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, that looks like Mandy.
because it's funny. She has like a little mini,
Right
like,
here,
yeah,
yes.
like we call it like a little dancer. She almost
Yeah.
has like a little mermaid dancer on the back, in the same spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't have anything nice. But yeah, it was actually
Cute
really
to see.
good.
Yeah.
It was really good. All right, so I don't know if the camera is the camera. Let me
It's
just
turned
see.
a little bit. I don't know how much it
Okay.
can turn, but
Yeah, I don't need to be on camera.
no.
All right, so I'm just going to talk while you guys are watching the puppies, and hopefully my voice won't interact with them too much. They do know my voice, but they also hear it enough while they're sleeping, because I do the overnights,
Yeah.
that they're probably not going to wake up, so that's good. I happened to look earlier today, and I saw some of the questions that were on Explore, so I mentioned to Lynn, I said, listen, why don't I just stop by and I can kind of give a little refresh into kind of the change that people are seeing, because there were questions about the change in, like, why there aren't so many people inside the pen and, with the puppies and cuddling and all of that, which honestly, we all love it. And I would love to just dive in there and be with the puppies too. But it definitely is purposeful, and it's done for a very good reason, lots of good reasons. But now that we actually have, an enclosed space, which is different than what we had in the house, which was sometimes a little bit harder to control. You were at the sink, or you were doing things, and the puppies were at your feet, and they were kind of able to follow you around a little bit more as we went about our day. But this is their space, so we really have kind of taken a little, not a big shift, but it is a notable shift, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Just make sure you guys can still hear me, right? I'm going to assume. Yeah. So, you know, the first big difference that we have at SDP is that, you know, we don't send our dogs out to be puppy trained at a home or to be puppy raised, as they call it, in a family or in a house. You know, we're blessed, and we put the time and the energy and everything into raising them here on property, and that gives us a very unique approach, because we do have the mom here for a long period of time. Capri's here for 7 weeks now. Yeah, 7 weeks now.
On 8,
yeah, going on 8. So she's been here since the beginning, and we've always kind of said, and this stays with SDP in how we raise our puppies, is that we're observers, and we let the dogs and the puppies think and be good thinkers. Think things out, make their decisions. We don't ever empower ourselves over the puppies, and believe it or not, that really has to do even when they're at this stage, little puppies. So we're observing them and coming in when needed. And in the beginning, when we had to be there for Capri, you know, to make sure about the latching and making sure that all the puppies were eating, we were very, very hands-on during that feeding time. And even after that, we had to stay in to make sure everybody was safe. You know, you have to make sure that Capri doesn't step on anyone or roll on anyone. And so we tended to be in there more. At probably about 5 weeks was when we saw it this time. Capri was kind of pulling away from nursing for many reasons, and she was bleeding at that point. There was a lot of stuff going on, and she doesn't. A mom would normally stay in there and kind of be with her puppies more during that kind of toddler zone, we like to call it. And I know Bianca was much more hands-on. She loved being in there with her puppies and kind of, you know, seeing what they were doing, and if you heard yelping or if you heard really aggressive biting or, you know, little things that needed kind of disciplining, Bianca was one that would step in and kind of do it. Capri is not as hands-on. We'll just leave it at that. She does come over and she does do a little bit, and she's definitely connected with them, and they're connected with her. But it brings us into a position of, okay, how much do we impose ourselves into the pack, if you will, or how much do we stay out? And it has been kind of like a decision of, you know, it's you don't want to do it too much, because there's problems with that. If we were in there and just kind of like cuddling and snuggling or letting them be with us all the time, what happens is we do become part of the pack, but we also become a part of their entertainment. You know, when the puppies crawl anywhere up, you know, beyond like your legs, if you're sitting down, you very quickly, the puppies learn to have a dominant position with humans. And since these are not normal puppies that we're just raising, we don't just want them to be potty trained and things like that. We want them to be, you know, really well behaved. We want them to have good manners. But more than that, we want them to, you know, we want their natural ability to focus to be really heightened. We want to catch that when we can and really reward it. Believe me, you guys might not see it a lot, like in the afternoon or the evening, because they're sleeping a lot, and maybe you see more of it during the day, but people are in there, and they are cuddling.
I was in there probably for 10 minutes, and then I come out.
Exactly.
Just to kind of calm them down when
Yeah.
they're doing craziness. And
You
then
have to.
Once they settle,
Yes.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that is kind of different from what we did
I
before.
Agree. I agree.
Because there was no place to sit, honestly.
Right.
too.
Yeah,
We would
true.
end up sitting on the floor, and
Yeah.
then people would, you know, and maybe when this is gone, we will end up sitting on the floor maybe, and you'll have a puppy or two that come and sit next to you. And in no way are we telling people not to do that, but there is a rhythm. I talked about the rhythm of the puppy's schedule, and you know, it's eating, and then it's activity, and then it's sleeping, and it doesn't vary from that. I mean, that's basically what they do all day long. we need to be active during the eating because you guys are still, and Sarah, you're amazing at it, by the way.
It isn't, it's not easy at all.
No, but you do such,
Well, because you help Tracy.
Yeah.
Come over. You do really need two people.
you do.
Getting in. I mean, you can't get in with two big feeders.
No, because you're putting them down on the puppies.
Yeah, exactly.
And they are 14, probably.
Oh, exactly.
You know, almost 15 pounds now.
Yeah.
The one-handed move is not as easy anymore, and we don't want anybody hurting their back either.
No.
So while we're eating, we're in there, but we're managing the food.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're picking up poop.
Right.
And you guys have seen it's like a game, you know. Some of us are
try.
really good at
Yeah,
it. Others, you know, it's so bad when you clean something and then all of a sudden you find one.
Well, it just depends on how quick you are and how many you're going at the same time. You
And
can't
how-
do more than two at a time.
No, and how loose it is.
Yes,
Like, diarrhea is
yes.
all bets are off.
They're pretty good though. I think their poop is pretty good.
It's right
For the
now
most
it
part.
is.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, when they were not feeling well,
Yeah.
that was different.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty good.
No, it is very
Yeah.
good. But they're filling up that poop picker very, very quickly.
Oh, they do. They do. Yeah.
So we're in there a lot, but we're standing.
Yeah.
And because we're catching poop. And then after we've kind of cleaned a lot, they're already onto their playing, and they are loud. So
Yes.
after the eating, I know sometimes, is it tomorrow? I don't know.
Tomorrow.
When they
It's-
put the cameras off after food, it can be really, really loud. And so
Some people don't like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it can
they
be-
want to hear them,
it's
but
not
it is
soothing.
It is very
the soothing sounds, it's not soothing.
No.
But we are in there during that time.
Yeah.
We are either in there or we're literally right outside.
Mm.
And the reason is for that because, again, we have this space, we're having the trainers come over now
Mm.
and actually introduce themselves
Yeah.
and start to take them out.
Yeah.
And so these guys are meeting not only the puppy sitters, but they're meeting their adult trainers. And we're making that connection with them at a much, much younger age. But we also don't want them to go from playtime and cuddle time to, okay, you guys need to now learn how to work,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
because
It's still
that's hard
puppies.
for them.
Yeah.
And so sleeping, knowing that we're here and mom's here is comforting to them, but they need to find comfort. I say it about my kids all the time. If they learn to self-soothe as
Well,
a baby,
this one playing by himself.
yeah, he's not complaining, he's not,
He wasn't.
bullying. Well, they do like to bite each other's ears when they're sleeping, right? But they need to learn how to self-soothe also. So they get plenty of love and, but it has to be done at a certain time. For us to go in there when they're playing crazy after they've eaten, like they should play. They should play with each
Right.
other. We shouldn't be playmates with them at that point because they can't focus. They're not
Right.
getting, that's a time when I say you can go in there, you can do pop-up with them,
Yeah.
you can do recall, you can do those things. And we do that. I know you guys can't hear it, but we do that right after they've eaten and they kind of have their energy. But we let them get their energy out. When one or two, three or four, now you got 5 or 6 that are starting to kind of sit down, that's the time when I've told and trained everybody, that's a great time to go in there. Because you can go in there at this point and if they're still jumping and biting, you don't want to be sitting down.
No.
Because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you want to do is have a quick reaction because a puppy bites you and you go like this.
Right.
And we want to actively be, teaching them and guiding them. So I always suggest like that's a great time to get down on your knees if you don't have bad knees and you can get down there. It's a great time to be on your knees. You can still get to all the puppies. You can really help if one of them is beating up another one or being a little bit too
No,
much.
he's making noise in his sleep. It's okay.
Then we're going to just kind of guide them into a better decision, and when they make that really good decision, we're going to give them, that poop's coming. We're going to give them praise for that. There you go. All right, let's see if Sara can get it before it drops. Oh. And that is the gold medal of poop catching right there. Good job, Sara.
Oops. Shoot. All right.
Very, very good.
Wait a second. We didn't get it all out. Good job.
Excellent job. Yeah, Capri, go lay down. Go lay down. When Capri gets up, it gets everybody going.
Can I see your back for a second?
So when we're in there
You
and
left a little piece.
there's like half of them asleep and half of them are playing, you know, we're encouraging
Yes, you're very good.
the puppy sitters to go in and engage with them a little bit, and that's a time to kind of be up a little higher so that they're, again, not jumping on top of our chests and things like that, because that's not good. And, you know, I know Pam, first time I was ever here, she was like, we don't let puppies kiss our face. There's just, we don't do that. And we don't pick them up, and we don't power over them. So in engaging with them, but not letting them play with us like a toy, is a balance. And some of us have had a lot more practice than others. Sara, you've had a lot of practice.
Yes.
So you know how to kind of talk to them and do those things. And there are others that, again, have that practice. Some are new volunteers. And so we're kind of making our, so if it seems like there aren't as many people in there cuddling and snuggling,
Just gonna
it's
make
true.
one while you're there.
Yep. It's true they're not, but that's not because of anything but the fact that we're training using that method. That every time we're in there hopefully teaching them something, or at the least not creating a bad habit. So when half of them are in there, we're on our knees. When there's like 2 or 3, there's usually 2 or 3 that stay awake. Don't you agree, Sara?
Yes.
Usually it's like Poppins and Pearly that are like, you know, going crazy with each other, and they like to stay up a little later than everybody else. Sometimes Boom is like a straggler. Bert can be a little difficult at times. He likes to go over and wake everybody up. But those are the times when you can be sitting down.
Yeah, I'd like to do that
And
too.
you can really have that one-to-one time,
Yeah.
or 1 to 3 or whatever it is, really kind of, you know, helping to guide their behavior at that point, and also bonding with them. These guys, I can tell you, they are not lacking love or attention in any way. They all are so well behaved, and like Sarah's doing right now, like we cup their faces and pet them all the time. You know, we're not letting ourselves become part of the landscape and having them crawl all over us, because they're almost 15 pounds, and very, very soon they're going to be, you know, 25, then 50. And when they get over to the barn, and when they start training, they need to be confident puppies that have made good decisions along the way, that aren't afraid of people. They're certainly not afraid of people, but they also can't be afraid to go out without people. You know, some of the problems or some of the things that we found is, you know, when you have puppies that are a little bit too handled and too, I'll say coddled, but what that means, you know, it really just means that, like, when they get
It's hard not to sometimes.
It's
They are
very
so
hard.
cute.
It's very hard, and that's why we had to make some boundaries, so that it wasn't personality based, and it wasn't, you know, well, this one knows really well, this one, you know, this and that. It's really, we made the same kind of boundaries for everybody, so that we don't over coddle them, because what can happen is they can then become adolescent dogs that need that person with them, or they can bond. I mean, they can actually.
I'm not doing that.
No,
anymore.
you're not.
Damn it, not doing it anymore.
No, and it is one of those things, especially if you're here a lot. You know, not only can you bond, but the puppies can bond, and it is good to have that good relationship with humans, with peoples, with trainers, with this SDP family. But if the puppies bond too much, they're going to be scared when they go out in public. And we do have some of those that you know, they get too scared and anxious, and we don't want to set them up for failure. We want to set them up for success. So we are doing it maybe a little bit differently in your eyes from the camera, but it's really not. It's just that we're being very consistent, and we have a lot of volunteers here that are, some of them are doing it for the first time, and they just need to be kind of given a little bit more direction of when we do things, when we don't. So I hope that helped to explain the method behind it. of why we're not, you know, in there maybe as much, cuddling and snuggling the dogs. I know we all want to be, believe me. We all want to be. But it's for the best for these dogs, because they are our babies, but they are our service dogs, and they're going to bond with their human. And there's nothing more amazing than the day that they actually pick their person, right? And, you know, I remember them telling me the story of Bella, because I wasn't here at that point. But, you know, I remember that Pam told me the story, and she said, yeah, Bella would come and none of the other dogs would go near her.
Right.
Whether it was because of, you know, whatever it was, there was something different, strange. She would sit at the top of Puppy Hill and no puppies would go. And they kept trying this, and George was the biggest of the dogs.
Yeah.
And so one day he just went up there and he picked her.
Yeah.
And he would not leave her side.
Right.
And it was like, but is this going to work? Because he's the biggest one. Physically.
She was tiny.
Yeah, she was tiny.
Yeah.
Physically, can we even make this work? But he picked her, and when he picked her, that was it.
Yeah.
And you know, I've also had people tell me stories of dogs that have been matched, and then, you know, when they come back, maybe when they're in retirement, it's like they are home. They feel home.
Yeah.
It's like they had a bond before they left, and
Yeah, they remember the people.
They do.
A lot, not all, well, I
No,
think
but
they all do.
they-
For whatever reason, it
they do.
surprises me.
they do.
Yeah, they do.
And you know, even with Capri, I know everybody loves Capri. But I can tell you, you know, when I was doing the overnights, she would come up to me a lot.
Yeah.
And I would have Pam's voice in my head, and I would hold her back, and she was always the last one awake. She was, you know, she would come by and she would sit. And so it's like, if they come and sit with you, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to get in the way of any of their future bonding.
Right.
And we have to remember that this is their SDP family for now, but we are all serving the mission, and they are going to have that love and that family time when they get matched. That's going to be the time when that's them. It's them and their person, and that bond will never be broken. So we all are keeping that in line, in vision, when we're holding ourselves back from jumping in there in a sea of puppies and just swimming around. We know that we're doing this for a good reason, and so I am here if you guys have any questions. Let's see. Okay, so Bio BC, thank you, Bio. We knew there was a great training reason for the changes, but couldn't remember what it was. You explained it very well. Ability to self-soothe, yeah, is important for puppies and babies and grown-ups too. Listen, I'll tell you, if children, if babies don't self-soothe, the same exact issues that they have as an infant, they will be the same. I've been a behaviorist for children and for adults, and the first thing that you kind of ask about, if you can talk to their parents, is how were they as a newborn, as an infant, and it is very, very true. So we definitely have some puppies that love to cuddle and fall asleep next to somebody, and we're not going to push them away, but it's better if they can do it with a sibling.
Yeah.
And if mom was in there, it would be better if they
Yeah.
could do it with mom. But then they'd have to make the separation from mom too.
Right.
So definitely we're helping them become as confident as we can be by us, and then also being loved in their pack. Let me see.
And they are going out on little car
Yeah.
rides now,
I
which is
know.
good, because I think we
Yes.
waited too long. And they were afraid. I remember one
They were
letter
so afraid.
was petrified, wouldn't go in the car.
And that, right,
So they
so,
were too big to be lifting them up. I mean, because it was so late in there.
exactly. And we have such a great opportunity right now while we have
yes,
them.
right.
They're only 7 weeks, going on
Yeah.
8. So they wouldn't
I
even
think a
be,
few of them can go out in the car and
Yeah.
have a great time.
and it's fun for them.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't teach them, by the time they're 50 pounds, forget about it. And then that's the one thing you have to teach them before they can get placed, you know? So, let me see.
Mr. Jones.
All right. If there's any more questions for me specifically, let's see. Then I will answer anything. But I think that kind of does it. You guys understand why we're doing what we're doing, and we always have the puppies at the forefront of what we're doing. And some are new volunteers, some are experienced at this, and it's been a change for a lot of people. You know, as an overnight, we used to sit there, and the puppies would all come over, and we have veered away from that because we want them to sleep and be peaceful. And you know, can you imagine how it would be though when they're like, you know, 3-4 months old? They've been sleeping on a person
Right.
for the first 4 months of their life,
And then they're over
and then
the
all of a
barn.
sudden they get ripped out. You know, they're separate. It's darker in there, and it's not a home, and they don't have the, you know. So I think this is much better for them, and they are very confident but very well behaved.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah, they are so good when when it's mealtime.
Well, then.
We
I
shouldn't-
don't know.
But I do spoon feeding
I like the spoon
overnight.
feeding, they're good. I think they've really done very
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
The
We have
rest
to
of
get
it,
them
it's
calmed.
just craziness.
Yeah, we have to kind of work on them being calm at mealtime. Because I remember the worst chaos was when you sprinkled some of that stuff,
Yeah,
which
no.
only fixed it for a second,
right.
but it created this like frenzy attitude. And it would be nice if we could kind of get them to calm down a little bit. You know, before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm thinking of myself, because
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of overnights.
Yes, I
And
know.
the kibble on the floor would
Yeah.
be to keep them occupied
Yeah.
so you could get the food ready.
Right.
Especially if you were doing blend, maybe not
Yeah.
the blender, but even getting
Anything
it
that
ready.
had this, yeah.
Now we're not doing that, but, you know, and to get in, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't do the feeding by myself. now.
No,
I just
no.
really can't.
So yeah. So again, you know what?
Well, I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Exactly. We're always thinking, and we're
Yeah.
always coming up with something. And when we find something that works,
Yeah.
then
It'll
we
be
kind
fine.
of communicate and get it spread
Right.
around.
Right.
But I know at nighttime, like for the overnights, the idea of doing that as an overnight, feeding them,
You really
there's
can't.
no way.
No. I mean, you could, but you might step on them.
No.
Or you put the thing down on them. I did that one day.
Yeah.
One was underneath
And
the
then
thing.
you got, yeah,
Like,
then you
oh,
got,
God.
well, at least you got
They made noise. though,
15
so they
pounds
didn't stay
times
there.
5, so
Yeah.
you got, you know,
Right.
75 pounds
Right.
like, down on one of them. But the spoon feeding here at night anyways, I mean, I've made it so much fun.
They
And,
seem to. I think they're doing well.
oh, I
Yeah.
have them, I take about a half an hour to do
Yeah.
it. And I make them 3 big bowls, so they're
Oh, do
basically
you?
having like a half
Yeah.
a cup each,
Okay.
which is a small meal.
Yeah.
But I do it over the half an hour.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where, towards the end, once they kind of get a little bit and they're not frantic
Yeah.
about food, I get to the point where I call out their name,
Yeah.
and I expect everybody to let that puppy.
Yeah. Right.
Because that's the hard part.
Oh, it
They're
is.
They're leaping out for
Yeah.
it and everything. So we're
Not
also,
as bad though. I
no.
don't think. I mean, last week when I was
Yeah.
here, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
So we're also teaching them patience. We're
Yeah.
teaching them
And their
manners. We're
name,
teaching
yeah,
their names.
definitely.
I think all of them know their names.
Yeah, when they want to. Yeah, when they're doing something
I
bad.
think Bert
they may
hears his
not.
name a little bit too much,
Oh,
but
he's cute.
he's so good.
Yeah.
Did you notice that he has a heart?
On his
His little-
his
On his left eye.
Yeah.
So his left
Yeah,
eye.
very
So it's
cute.
actually, I thought it was just like a
It looked
Batman,
like a blur- yeah.
but now when
I'll
you
have to
look at
check.
it, all I can see is the
Like a
heart.
heart. Oh.
And have you seen Sugar? While I'm here, I'll point these things out. Have you seen Sugar and Mr. Dawes? On their black stripe, they have this like razor gray. They have that
Oh,
silvery
yeah.
gray.
Okay,
I thought it was just a blur in
Yeah.
all my pictures that I was taking, but it's
Yeah,
actually
I
not.
can see it on that.
He actually
yeah,
has
Mr.
like this
Dawes.
highlight of gray. And
Interesting.
wherever Sugar is, Sugar has the same exact thing. Her sweet spot is outlined in the gray,
Okay.
and then there's like the razor stripes go back. It's so pretty. But they all have these cute little
Look at over
things.
there. That's not her, is it?
I don't know.
with her paws, like
But camera people, when you guys see
that
Sugar
her
next
over
time,
there?
I think that probably is. Look at her. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I know. Look,
She
she
is
moved her paws. I love
probably-
when they're in such weird
Yeah.
positions sometimes.
So watch the top of her head and look for that. She has that silver right around there.
Yeah, I see it in
So
the
she's got the 3
dogs.
colors.
Yeah,
Or the 4.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because they usually don't.
They usually are just black and white.
Right.
I've never seen the silver on them, and it outlines it, which is
Yeah.
so cool.
The Capri is looking like, okay,
Right.
when is she going to spend time with me?
I know. She's such a good girl.
Look.
Yes. All right. Yeah, that's Derby
Oh,
actually.
is it Derby?
Derby, yeah. Yeah, she's in here. So I think she's stuck
Is that her
under.
right there?
I think she's literally her body is underneath everybody. I don't know.
It would have to be here,
Yeah.
this one. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yep, that is. Yep. That's
Yeah,
her.
I
Yep,
can see a
that's her.
little bit.
Yep, that's her. All right, so I'm gonna look and see if there's any questions before I. Is it time? Yeah, it's pretty much time to turn the sound off. So I'll let you guys listen a little bit. Let me see. Where's the next question next? Oh yeah. So the cover for the pipe over there.
Yes, it's moved. They can move it.
So it does. It can move, and we are on alert,
Yeah.
watching it to make sure nobody gets stuck behind it or any paws or anything
Yeah.
like that. But if we were to take it off, they
They'd be biting
absolutely
on
can
that.
biting
yeah.
on that.
But is it water?
It is
Is it
the
a
water.
pipe?
It
Yeah.
is the water, and it is the.
Someone thought it was a gas pipe.
No.
No, it isn't.
We don't
I
have
know
gases.
it's not.
No, it's the water.
Someone was concerned about
Yeah, no, it's the water. It's the main shutoff
Yeah.
actually right over there. And it's just a rubber coating
Yeah.
over the piping, but it's not something we want to teach them
No,
to.
because they will. I mean,
And they absolutely will.
they chew on anything.
Yeah. So we're watching that over there. And I think that's it. All right.
They've been pretty calm since they went to sleep, even with the barking and everything.
I
And
know.
then a few of them woke up, and
Yeah.
you know, Andrew was there doing whatever. But
And that's another thing that's great about this space too, is it's not, it's all kinds of dogs that they're getting,
Right.
because there's like
Right.
2 or 3 different ones in
Right.
here every night, so they're getting used to. Some of the dogs cry at night, some of them bark, others, they hear the scratching and all
oh
that.
yeah,
So
that drives them nuts.
yeah, so they're getting, they're achieving boredom at a very early age, and getting used to the fact that they are, I love that they are all really sleeping with each other.
Yeah, I like that. It's
Sometimes they
cute.
do it all together, sometimes they go in 2 or 3 little piles, and
We have 6 in the corner.
Boom's having a
They
dream
love
right
this
now.
corner.
He's
I know, I
running.
saw him. But this corner
I
has been
know.
their favorite.
it's the light. What do you think?
I don't know.
They get a little extra heat?
I don't know.
Because there's no extra, warmth on
No,
there.
I don't know.
We used to have the heating blanket over in
Over
that
there,
corner.
yeah.
But we took that out when we expanded it.
Here's some sugar.
So that's Sugar, yeah. I see her, she's got a little Batman on her butt right there. But when you look at her head, she's got... I'll post a picture of it too, because I have some good pictures I took. I thought it was my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I going crazy? No, I'm not. It's actually gray. So she has the
black
3
spot on
colors.
her back
I
toe.
know. Oh, all right.
She's going back to bed.
They are getting to that cute stage.
Oh, they have been.
And their puppy breath. Like in the beginning, I couldn't smell the puppy
Now you
breath.
can, yeah.
Now you can really smell the puppy breath. And it's not just old food, it's actually
Right.
the puppy breath.
Look at Pearlie there.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah,
isn't
she is, yeah. Who does she looks like someone, but I can't remember which dog.
I don't. You
With
know.
the wide-
you know way
Yeah,
more
but
dogs than I do.
There's so many that
Yeah.
I'm like losing it.
No, she is, and she's definitely an alpha female.
Yeah.
her and Poppins, but
Yeah.
Pearlie's definitely like. Do you have a favorite?
No, I'm not having any
No.
favorites. No, I'm not, really.
No, you're like,
No.
nope, not doing it. Not
No
doing
more. No more favorites.
Yeah.
I like them all.
it. It is hard. It is hard when you
Yeah.
when you bond.
Yeah. But I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
I'm happy that favorites get to be service dogs.
I know, right?
Yeah. But I've had a number of favorites, but one
Yeah.
real favorite, but I've had several throughout
Yeah.
all these years. And the best part is if I haven't seen them for years
Yeah.
and they come back and they know me.
Oh yeah.
And
Capri
they
knows
just say,
you.
oh, she knows.
Capri,
She's
absolutely.
Like, I don't know what it is. She's crazy.
I know she really likes.
I know. Karen's like, I think she loves you. I said, I don't know. One night I didn't think she didn't want me to leave.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was weird.
No, it's definitely like an energy.
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's a calm spirit. It's all
Yeah.
those things, and yeah. No,
But there's
I
been, you know,
Yeah.
I love all the dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, they know that,
yeah.
you know.
Well, it's funny you said Frankie was.
Yeah, well,
one of your
that was
favorites.
just different. I don't know what.
I know.
He just.
He was-
There was something about that
He
dog.
was
I knew
unreal.
he was be a service dog, but
Yeah.
he was just different from.
Yeah.
I liked several in that litter though, but he was the favorite.
No, I think.
I like Melvin,
Yeah.
and I like Victor too.
Oh,
and I
like
Carl,
Victor.
little Carl.
Yes. Yes.
My mini
Victor with a
Carl,
K.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Victor with a K.
With the K, yeah,
Yes.
I loved him.
Yeah.
But I like Carl as well. He's a
Yeah.
nice dog.
He is.
But
Yeah.
Frank was the boyfriend.
I know Frankie.
Well, I still see Frank. You know, I hear from his people. And
Yeah.
I visited them
Oh,
in
that's
February.
nice.
I'm gonna go back soon. It's gonna be their birthday.
Where
It's
are
Frank
they?
and Bumble, Western Mass.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not
They'll
too
be
bad,
having
huh?
their birthday in July.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes about 2.5 hours, I think.
Oh, Frank.
So I
he was
have to
great.
send a note and say,
Yeah.
I'm due for maybe around their birthday.
It's like seeing your favorite aunt.
Yeah, but I mean, they
come
go-
to visit. You know.
I mean, it's amazing.
and it is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen dogs do it to other people,
Yeah.
but I never expected a dog to
Yeah.
feel that way about
And
me.
Frankie's like 2.5.
He's gonna be 3.
He's gonna be 3.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because she's gonna be 3.
Yeah.
I know, it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
they were in the same. They're not siblings.
No.
Or half.
Yeah. Larky.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like Larky too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, that's
That's
an example of these
Yeah.
two. Like they used to sleep on top of each
Yeah.
other, and
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs are good. Even though I'm a cat person, but I do
Isn't that
love these
funny?
dogs. Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah, it is funny, sort of.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't have a cat of my own right now, but I do have a couple of neighbor cats that come to visit me,
Oh, I'm sure they love you.
which is
Look at
fine.
this.
Yeah, I
Look at
love this.
This is like, I love that they just are so relaxed and
I know.
trusting that their jowls are
Yeah.
like completely.
Look at the paw. Oh,
Oh, Mr. Bird. Yeah.
he's a cutie.
Aw. They really are so loving to each
Yeah,
other too.
yeah.
Like
Until they're ready to bite.
they play hard, but I don't think any of them are mean. They're just some are aggressive.
No, yeah, they have their moments.
Some are alphas.
Yeah.
Like
Just like little kids, though. Basically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Different periods of their growth.
Yeah. Mr. Dawes, though, I'm telling you, he used to sit in the back and do like nothing.
Yeah.
Now he's like,
Now
he's come,
acting up like.
yeah, he's come alive.
Oh, that's
and
good.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It is good. He's learning. He's gaining
Yeah.
his confidence. That's one that, if you want to take an example, like if you were in there, he'd probably go sit with the person
Yeah.
more than he would his siblings because he didn't like the crazy.
No,
right?
right.
So he was always in the back.
Yeah.
He'd probably and he when I was spoon feeding, he'd wait.
Was
until
he
the-
waiting, sort of?
He was waiting in the back,
back,
but he
yeah.
also was doing
shaking, like nervous.
I don't know if it was
Not-
nervous.
no,
It's
yeah.
not nervous, but it's like I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really want to move.
Yeah.
You know.
But if I stay, I'd probably get a bite.
So he would probably be one that we would pet more often.
Yeah.
Because we think he's nervous. And then maybe he would become too coddled.
Yeah.
And he might not gain his confidence.
Yeah.
He's gaining his confidence.
Yeah.
So I love it when they drink.
Yeah. And when they make noises and the others don't realize, and then you look at them like, what is your problem?
Oh my goodness. And Derby is still very loud.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he is. He might be a whiner like some of the older dogs. I hope not.
Derby
but-
and Banks, like at least when I'm doing the spoon feeding, they'll come along. Oh, they're so smart. Have you done the spoon feeding when Alfred and
Goes to
Winnie?
the-
Winnie goes from one
Oh,
side,
yeah.
she goes to
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so smart. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, we're closing up right now.
Say-
All right, so
Good
Just make
afternoon,
sure there's
everyone.
no
Have a nice
questions.
night.
okay, all right, we're good. So goodbye. I'm gonna make sure I put this off.
No.
Hold on. The laptop won't. Wait a minute.
Look at her peak.
I lost my hammer. Bye, guys. Thank you.